take you back.
Tune into the Sunday Freestyle Spectacular every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Yo, man, what's up? It's your boy, DJ Enjetic, and tune into the Sunday Freestyle Spectacular every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, exclusively on DNA Radio 93.7.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Danny.
Yeah, and I'm Althea on the DJ Enjetic Show. There you go. Can I just say thank you, M City, for allowing me to sit in this one, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
No, because once you told me who the guest was, I was like, no. M City needs to sit aside for this one because I really wanted to enjoy this one because I grew up with this girl. So you just take it on. Go ahead.
Me taking on?
Yeah, go ahead. Take it on.
Oh, here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special guest on here as well inside the DJ Enjetic / go ahead.
Well, it's M City usually, but thank you so much, M City, for letting me sit in today. This is the DJ Enjetic Show. It has nothing to do with DNA, so go ahead.
The Freestyle Spectacular. What you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What you talking about?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. The Spectacular. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can introduce the guest, please.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce. Go ahead, help me with this. Come on.
Oh, come on, Miss Freestyle Queen herself. Okay, Jocelyn Enriquez, baby.
What's going on?
Hi guys, what's up?
How you
How's
doing?
everything going?
Oh, I love the hair. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
you know what?
talk.
I feel like I'm gonna overtake this show because I was so excited because you were coming on. So. It is the DJ Enjetic Show, but it may turn into the Althea Hour. You know.
There you go.
I'm just letting you know right now.
But listen, thank you so much for being on the show too, man. We got a lot of people that definitely want to hear a lot of questions that people have been asking us about you as well. Go ahead, take it away. There you go.
Well, if you could read my mind, but he obviously can't. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start. You don't know. I was excited. You know why? Because, just back in the days, I mean, she was one of the very few people that really rocked the freestyle world. Okay, and every time that those certain particular songs, like "Do You Miss Me?" Oh my God! And then if you could read my mind, those songs were like installed in our brains, okay? They weren't just songs that just played once in a while in the club or whatever. They were installed.
Let's go.
So that's what I'm just saying. So basically we can, start from the beginning and everything. So basically what your musical background was as, growing up.
It's funny, when people ask me what my musical background was, I actually studied classical music with the San Francisco Girls Course. I'm from the Bay Area. And my parents had me go to girls' chorus school, and we studied classical music.
Right.
And my background is singing 4-part harmony, reading music, and also singing opera. So that's pretty much in a nutshell. But coming from a Filipino home, we love to sing covers. So I also grew up to like the greats like Frank Sinatra, Neil Diamond, and Olivia Newton-John, who is one of my favorites.
Wow.
Whitney Houston. So, I mean, I was very fortunate to have a very diverse, introduction to music growing up, if you will.
Wow. Just the opera thing, you know me. You know me with opera, right? Okay. Because my mom was a soprano.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I grew up a lot with with a lot of musicals and stuff. My mom grew, all like The King and I, Showboat, Meet Me in St. Louis. I mean, my mom grew me up with Maria Callas, the opera singer Nana Muscuri.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I understand you.
Oh, thank you.
I understand your voice and your vibrato, I could, you know what? I don't even know why you're here. Because I could have this nice conversation with me and Jocelyn.
Nah, man, I'm intrigued right now because I want to hear a little bit more,
I'm just saying, when you grow up with that type of musical background, it's a total different beast than just, as you get older, you realize you got some talent and stuff and you display that. But when you come back from a background like she did, with the chorus and choir and soprano. And did you do church a lot? Did you do church singing?
Yes, it's funny that you asked that. I did sing a lot in church, but right now, currently my husband is the worship pastor for our church, so we actually sing all the time.
See?
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
See,
so
I told
we
you.
worship
That's
on a
dope.
very regular basis. So
Yeah.
but I mean, music has always been a big part of my life, and I'm just very grateful. Like after 30 years, we're actually we're going to be celebrating one of my singles that we released 30 years ago, "Make This Last Forever." Celebrating 30 years, and after all this time, I could talk about like my music from back in the day. Like you
Right.
said, the club songs and
Yeah.
anthems, and what a fortunate situation that I have been blessed to be in. And
Yeah.
so I just love this. I love that I get to talk about it even now. Like as I'm interviewing with you, my kids and are downstairs with my grandbaby, and we're like, try to
Oh,
keep
okay.
but I mean,
Yeah.
So cool.
I love that, and it's such a full circle. And the fact that I get to talk about even my background, singing opera music and, really just enjoying like the standards, like Frank
Yeah.
Sinatra, the music that my parents introduced me to. I love it. I love it. And, it shows like yours
Yeah.
that we get to tell our story. So thank you so much for having me. I really, really.
Oh no, definitely.
I really.
You're welcome
appreciate
anytime.
Wait, hold on a second,
Go
because she
ahead.
said she grew up with the operas and musicals and everything.
Oh,
I'm not
okay,
testing her
okay.
here. I'm not testing her here. What I want to know is, do you have a favorite musical or anything from Frank Sinatra? Or
I mean, of course, it's so coming from a Filipino family, we love songs, and my father, who passed away 3 years ago, one of his favorite songs is "My Way," so of course, got to go with the Frank Sinatra great.
Yeah.
My favorite opera is The Magic Flute because it's full of adventure, romance, mischievousness, comedy, and so it's it's such a well-rounded story. So yeah, Magic Flute, composed by Mozart.
yeah, let me. She knows her stuff. She knows her stuff.
Oh,
You
don't
know,
know.
but like, at what point did you realize that all that stuff that you had absorbed, like when did you realize that that was going to be your career path? Like when did you realize that was going to be your profession?
Like when did you feel like that's it? I want to do it. I want to.
It's funny because my parents always encouraged it. You would think, college first and get your career and, get good grades. I mean, I had good grades. I had decent grades. But it was like an opportunity that presented itself while I was in college, my first year in college. And I was still living at home, and and they knew that this was an opportunity for me to really seize the moment. But if I could roll back the tapes, I've always known from the very beginning, because my parents encouraged me, whether it was, "Hey, Jocelyn," I could barely come up with sentences, but they're putting me on the coffee table singing "Ring My Bell" by Anita Ward.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
And so it's like,
Wow.
so, I'm so grateful that my parents were very supportive of,
Right.
That passion that I had. My mom would tell me, "You didn't want to play with Barbie dolls. You didn't want to play with like doll houses. You just wanted musical instruments. Like, get me a pretend keyboard or whatever." And I'm constantly banging on it. So I guess music has always been something that my parents nurtured. And then also I realized, this is something that I want to pursue.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope because there's a lot of parents too that knock down their kids from the dreams and all of that, and then they don't want to pursue it. So you felt like, you know, your parents basically being behind you, you felt like you had that extra motor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine, you know, fulfilling like this dream or this goal without their support. And
That's a beautiful thing.
They really were very supportive. I mean, when I would do opera productions, we being with the San Francisco Girls Chorus, we would get the privilege of playing certain roles. And you know, you're in grade school, you're in middle school, and you know, when they have performances, they don't get out till past 10.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so my parents, I mean, they were the chaperones, and they would wait until the production was over because you would have curtain call, you know, you would have to take a, you know, this big bow. And so, I mean, they would be there and support me and then drive me back home to the East Bay, not in San Francisco. It's a drive. It's about a 30-minute drive, and then do school. So, I mean, if I, you know, as I look back now, I can honestly really just tell even their story or give them their flowers. If
nice. Give the parents the flowers.
Let's give the parents the flowers. There we go.
You know, it's a beautiful thing to watch parents really push their kids, because my father was the same exact way.
Right. Mine wasn't at all. Mine, you know, if I got on the coffee table, my mother would scream at my father to take me off, you know? Like, why are you putting her on the coffee table for? That just didn't happen in my house, but go ahead. So, okay, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting. I just got so excited when I saw her, you know? I don't know. So, if anything, okay, the next question is, how would you describe the genre of music that you record and you perform? Is it limited to just freestyle, or do you incorporate other influences in there?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like that one.
Question. Well, I mean, it's funny because when I first walked into the recording label back in 1993, I came in confident thinking, oh, you know, so I have this, you know, repertoire of music, you know, opera background and you know, these long, beautiful ballads. So I walked in like, I think I'm a balladeer. Okay. And, you know, they were like, you know, I think we should try something else. You know, have you heard of freestyle? You know, back in the day, you know, you had girls, you had Cynthia, you had
Expose.
Yes, Expose. Oh my goodness.
Expose Shannon,
yes, the greats, the legends, my friends now.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My friends that I get to do freestyle shows with.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm very familiar. And they were like, you know, this is something maybe it's more radio friendly, you know, this is an opportunity for you. And so I'm, you know, they were wonderful in really opening myself and not limiting me, if you will, even to what I thought. You know, let's take a chance and do these dance music. I love dance music. You know, it's lively, it's poppy and whatever. And so I said, sure, let's do it. And it really, you know, the minute I recorded, I've been thinking about you. And the radio edit has this really cool like guitar pattern. Dun, dun,
right.
Dun. And I love live music. So it was like, oh my goodness, this sounds really good, you know. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the production in itself, that's not even like laying out vocals. And so it was like a 2-day process. I laid out the lead vocals. The following day, I laid out the harmonies for the choruses, the ad libs. You know, again, I'm a sucker for 3-part, 4-part harmonies because of my background.
Right.
And I mean, I went home with the scratch sample, and I was like, this is life changing. This is life changing. And so, you know, and at the same time, you know, I was very fortunate to have a record label, which is an indie label back in the day, a small Filipino indie label that took a chance, not only, you know, with their business, but with me, you know, this 18-year-old, high school, I don't know. I mean, I could be shy, but I'm also, I try to be confident, or I try to show that I'm confident, but I'm a nervous wreck.
Wait, so you were 18 years old when you first got your first deal?
Yes, I was 18 years old. And I mean, but after that, like within a week, the local radio station got a hold of it, and they were like, we're going to premiere it. My whole hometown Bay Area girl, Jocelyn, hot single. And I mean, it was life-changing. And so for me, when I think about my music, even as an artist, it's like you kind of have to know, you have to be open to people's suggestions, right? But at the same time, you also have to know what your absolutes are. And so throughout my journey in my music career, I feel that I have been given that privilege and control. Like with any music, whether I wrote it, I didn't write it, as an artist, you have to believe it first for yourself, right? Whether it's the sound, the lyric, the beat, the ad lib, even the melody line, oh, it doesn't make sense, or that's just,
I feel like you gotta like it first. Like you have to like it yourself to become a hit.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're the storyteller.
Exactly.
You're the storyteller, and you never know. There might be somebody, who's listening, and they're, whatever moment it might be, whether it's a breakup song or a song about life, or they're really in love with somebody, they're claiming that song for themselves. I mean, 30 years later, I get to hear, you have no idea how much that song impacted my life. I'm okay, I'm singing a song about the video plays our favorite song. How could that impact your life? And so it's like, after all these years, it's like, thank you so much. And to the songwriters that wrote that song, and even Glenn, who produced it. I'm very grateful. You're gonna hear that a lot. that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, because you guys are like talking and you're describing everything and everything, and all I'm playing in my head is, "Do you read my mind, love?"
Oh yeah, see, and even that.
You know what? Don't you sing it, okay? It's a female thing, okay?
Hey, listen, when I was younger, that's what they used to play like crazy, and I got two older sisters.
Yeah,
so you would just hear it all the time.
I'm just saying.
And that song was crazy because I'm from the West Coast. Amber was in the East Coast. She's from the UK, but she was really doing well here. And I think for that short amount of time, she was already living in the East Coast. And then Ultra, I think, was like in the East Coast area. So when that opportunity came out, they were like, hey, and Tommy Boy, which was my record label at that time, they said, who can we put together and collab, to do this Gordon Lightfoot folk song.
Yeah.
And at that end, they had Thunderpuss doing the remixes.
Okay.
And and they were hot at that time too. So it was like such a great moment. I flew to New York. We didn't know what parts we were singing. They had each and every one of us come in. Yeah. You guys, sing it straight through, however your style will be. And then, we'll do some harmonies. We'll put it together. And then, it became the theme song for the motion picture 54. So, yeah. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts would tell. And even
come on, let's go.
Keep it going.
Let's go.
Right?
Come on.
You don't song.
Yeah, you don't start it and then just end it in like 2 seconds. Okay, that was just like a very big tease. Go ahead, do it a little bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. My mind.
I love it.
I am so glad you put me on here. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Oh, you're making me blush.
No. Well, that's okay because you've earned this.
Yes.
Okay, you've earned this. So your first commercial album, "Lovely," was released back in 1994, right?
Yes. 94.
So you were just out of high school with that album. So how did that album, like when it
Wow,
came
this
in,
is-
and like how did that? It actually changed your life in a whole bamboostic kind of way. So give us a little bit of a indication on how that how that happened.
So, after the release of I've Been Thinking About You in November of 1993, it did well regionally. Freestyle music was making a comeback, if you will, because at that time, freestyle had kind of slowly died off. But it was great. It was doing that genre of music was doing great in certain regions of the country. So I would be touring or I would be singing my single I've Been Thinking About You in Chicago, in Florida, in Texas, in Washington, around. But I never I've always wanted to go to like the New York area, where all the true freestyle legends were. But so we would promote the song, and it was inevitable to not do an album. So from there, I've Been Thinking About You. We released Make This Last Forever, which is a very big summer hit, very fun. And then from there, from the Lovely album, I got to do my ballad. Thank you very much. I co-wrote a song called You Are the One, and it did great again in different parts of the country. And then it was like, okay, well, maybe we need to start thinking about doing another album. And so from there, the self-titled Jocelyn album, I think was in 96, I believe, 96 when we released the single, Do You Miss Me? And
that's my favorite too.
That's a good record.
Yeah, that was like the crossover from freestyle. And, when you have great remixers and, Glenn did a few of the remixes. He made a dance, a just strictly dance, strictly house, strictly freestyle. And so it catered to, the different formats of the different radio stations that we were servicing. So with Do You Miss Me from the Jocelyn album came, the Little Bit of Ecstasy, and then just a few more. And then it caught the attention of the record label Tommy Boy Music in New York. And then from then on, it's like, it's up to you, New York.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay, because Do You Miss Me is I remember that song very well.
Yeah.
No, don't again. You are not supposed to sing.
This is not fair. I'm a DJ. So what do you think I'm doing when I'm mixing and I'm cooling down? Like I can't do nothing. Like
you play them and you listen to them. You do not sing them.
But I watch you singing all the time.
Yeah, but I'm just trying.
Oh, you know what, man?
I'm just trying here, okay? So after your third album, All My Life, was released in 2003, okay? You took an extended hiatus from the music industry. When did you decide to finally return to music, and what inspired that return?
Okay, so again, this is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, go ahead. I always say that too. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Go ahead, girlfriend.
So 2003, I recorded the album All My Life. Let's give it another go ahead. I did it independently. I was the executive producer. I had full control over every single song that went on that album. And it was just something that I wanted to do. 2004, I was like, I had a son. He was 3.5, 4, and I was traveling a lot.
Right.
It was just that I wanted to be home.
You wanted to be home, right?
I wanted to be a mom. I didn't, I was very fortunate. My husband was very supportive. I had a a great support group where, I knew he was well taken care of, but there was just something about, like, it wasn't fun anymore because my heart was somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think
I think a lot of people like you are like
Yeah.
that. They take a hiatus and everything because they're grown. They're raising a family.
Yes. And so, but the thing was, it was, for me, my plan was, it wasn't going to be a hiatus. It was like 2004, I find out that my husband and I are pregnant with our second child.
Okay.
And well, you know what? This is my exit,
Oh, okay.
It will just ride off quietly
Into the sunset.
Thank you very much, everybody. I love you. I will miss you, but I need to take care of my babies. And so 04 hits, and I'm really convinced that I'm done.
Right,
I'm done, and I'm okay. Like, I have not, I'm okay. So 2015, my then son, who is now, well, actually 2016, on the verge of graduating high school.
Oh, wow.
He's becoming an adult. We have two other kids, so we have 4 kids at this point now.
Right,
they're not toddlers anymore. They're able to take care of themselves. We moved to Texas, from California to Texas, and there's a local TV show here that finds out I live here. Jocelyn Enriquez lives in San Antonio. What? So they get a hold of my husband. Hey, we heard that your wife, Jocelyn Enriquez, is here. Like, can we do a story on her? Like, where are you now? And so he calls me, and I think my youngest one was maybe, I don't remember. He's 7 years old. So, he's a little needy, not quite as needy as a baby or a toddler.
Right.
Because he's in school, he's already in school. I don't have any kids at home. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And he's like, would you do it? I'm like, only if this is the one and done.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, wow.
I'm only doing this as a one and done. You're like, who wants to know about me? Anyway?
I do.
Like, ain't nobody care about me.
I
do. Let's go.
I do.
Okay. So I do this, I do this interview, and they're following me around with my kids. They're showing old music videos, and we're talking about my what's been going on, and it's like, okay, that was nice. They take, they show my kids, and we're at church and whatever. And then, like, they air it, and I'm getting phone calls from
there you go.
my family in Florida, and I'm getting phone calls from my family in California. They're like, hey, we just saw.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this is a Texas thing. Like,
how did they find this out?
Our social media, right? We didn't have social media back then, so everything was, you didn't have that access. So, we're, they're telling me about it. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Everybody knows about me now. Like,
yeah, you were trying to keep it quiet, not say anything. That's your second life right there.
Yeah.
She was just like galloping into the sunset.
Yeah, she's like, it's over. I'm done.
She's like, I'm done.
Out of here. Put the hat on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it goes, can you just do a show? And all of a sudden everyone just came right back.
How did you know? How did you know?
Because you can see it. You can see it. You get. Listen, you get a little bit, like, I tell her all the time, nah, I'm not going to be DJing. We ain't going to be doing all this, all the time. She goes, no, you love it, right? So I get a little taste of it. Then all of a sudden it just drags me right back into the industry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm here again.
Yep, here we are.
I'm here again.
Here we are.
I'm sorry, I'm a little long-winded. So, again, a few months later,
Sorry.
Somebody they get a hold of my husband and they're like, yeah, we want to celebrate Filipino American History Month, and we would love your wife to be a part of it, since she's made such an impact in the community. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what? No means no, kind of thing. I was mad. I mean, you could put it on you could ask him. I was like, I told you that this interview was like, that was it. That was that I was one and done.
Yeah.
And so he gets our pastor and he's like, could you please talk to Jocelyn? Like, she's over here. Like, she has an opportunity to share her music and she's like fighting me. And so, my pastor's like, meet me in my office. And, when you have a meet me in my office kind of thing, it's like, oh man, what did I do? So, he asks me and I'm like, it's just, I feel like I'm done. And, that part of my life is over. And he's like, who told you that it was over?
Yeah.
And so, like to have my husband support me and, even my pastor and just my whole circle, it was just like an eye-opening, like, for me, it was like, well, then you're being selfish, Jocelyn.
Oh gosh. The guilt trip.
I can see that.
That was a guilt
I
trip.
could really see that, because then they're gonna say your blessings and everything that you were given and all of that, and then they push that right into your face, and then you're like, oh man. It's like a responsibility kind of thing, right?
I mean, it can look like a responsibility, but everything is all about perspective, right? And so it really got me thinking, like, my kids don't know anything about like who their mom was. Wow. And so I thought about them, and it's like, how are they going to know?
Right. Yeah.
And so it was just like kind of looking at the big picture, and at the same time, like the opportunity to share even my faith, because
I love it.
Music is such a powerful language in itself, and it speaks to people in so many different levels, and music is also an escape. And so I hear the story, it's an escape, to get away from, man, I had a really rough week, or man, that part of my life sucked, but your song got me through it. And it's like, how could you deny even saying thank you? Like, thank you for letting my music, be part of your healing. So it was something that it took a long time actually for me to believe that for myself. And it's funny because I had, at that time during my hiatus, or like my riding off in the sunset, I like lost ties with even my management company.
Right. Yeah.
And so the show that I went in kicking and screaming at the Greek Theater, my manager
Greek Theater
in LA.
100% Greek over here, girlfriend.
Oh, you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl. My daughter went to Greece to study abroad in the fall. Love it.
This is why we connect. This is why we connect. Don't you understand? This is why it was meant for me to be on this particular show. And I'm going to stick with that. Okay, go ahead. Okay, you can resume. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I mean, she shows up and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, hi Dorothy, her name is Dorothy, and she's, I hear my music, my people singing my song, the lights, I mean, and it just felt like home, like, oh my goodness.
Like something that you've been missing.
I wrote a song about that. I wrote a song about that first time back on stage. And so, it was just,
she's still in awe of herself right now.
So
It's a beautiful thing.
You know why? Because she's a trailblazer.
No, that's a beautiful thing. You know why? It's just
she's a trailblazer.
I understand how you feel, girl. When you get right back up on that stage, it's like you never left, and it's like a part of you that's been missing. But sometimes you just want to sit there quietly and just move it because it gets crazy.
Yeah,
it gets crazy.
I know.
Yeah, but, you know, my body disagrees sometimes. Though it's like, oh yeah, you're definitely not in your 20s anymore. But you know what?
I know the feeling, girlfriend. Don't worry.
But it's really neat because like when I get the opportunity to perform like with my fellow freestyle artists, you know, there's something about the nostalgia in the music.
Yeah.
You know, and the people that go out to these concerts. I mean, these concerts are selling out.
Right.
You know, and people want to be there because again, they want an escape, if you will.
Yeah.
Or hey, let's go back in time. I mean, it's just a neat
I say that all the time. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt. I say that all the time because it's always a specific time in your life that particular song and genres and people and camaraderie and the music and the industry, everything was so good back then. Okay.
No, it really was though.
It was just good. Okay. And you know, it was funny because I've seen I've seen your performances online, and I also was looking at some of the other ones, and it doesn't matter how many years go by. Okay. It's not even about packing people, places out or anything. It's just, I was just even watching Shannon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this woman, she was like rolling on the stage and jumping up and everything. And then I watched Jocelyn, and Jocelyn's doing all these like kicks and stuff, with her dancers. And Cynthia, right? I see Trinier. I see all the greats from that particular period. And it's just like, it doesn't matter when it's 20 or 30 years from now, whatever.
You still got it.
They still got it. They still
got it.
It's not even just about the talent.
Hold on.
It's not the talent.
What's funny is, but even backstage, it's like there's a camaraderie, there's a community, it's a family.
Yep.
Like, I get so excited when I'm backstage and I'm talking to Johnny O or Jordan, and Deneen. Oh, sweet Deneen. It was like, we're talking about our family, we're talking about our kids, we're talking about, even like, man, I am like, especially me, I'm so technologically challenged. I'm like, how do you do
gosh,
this?
I know.
But I mean, we are all the same like playing field, and I love it because we've done life in our own separate lives, and now we can come together and celebrate music. You know what's funny is I did a show in San Francisco, and Angel from the Cover Girls was performing, and usually for the most part my husband goes with me, and he's my roadie. And so like, I'm getting ready to perform and whatnot. And, I always look for him because, he's like my comfort blanket. We've been married for 26 years. Yes. No, just
God
kidding.
Bless. Go ahead.
So I'm like looking for him, like, where is he, and he's like on the side of the stage, and he has like jaws like fully on the floor. And I'm like, hello, I need you. You don't understand, I mean, he was like, they call it now fanboying out.
Oh, fanboy. Oh,
come on,
man.
We get proud of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, for every guy watching this and stuff like that, I get proud of her when I see her do a thing. I just sit there and I be like, wow, man, it's amazing to see this.
This is vinyl in the skin. This is, I can see the vinyl jacket, what it looks like, the record, so, as we're performing and we're, I'm doing all these different shows with all these different artists, it's like, I know you, I know I know what it looks like. because he used to be a DJ. So it's been really, really neat. Like I'm kind of spoiled. Like this is we're having too much fun with this.
Yeah. See, but you see the
It's
connection.
always a blessing, man.
The husband's a DJ, the Greek wife. I mean, the freestyle, the opera. I mean, I don't know how many more coincidences we could have on this show.
I know, right?
I'm just saying, there was a reason why M City was not here today. Okay. I'm just saying. I love you, M City. I do. We do.
I love you too. I'm sorry to meet you.
I know. You know what? Because I fought so hard for this right now.
Yes, you did.
You have no idea. Once I heard, I was like, oh no, you can't do that. And you know what? They were torturing me at the beginning. They're like, oh yeah, we know. And
that's a lie. She was like, she goes, I need to do this. I said, okay.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
no,
he
didn't.
I don't want to get Get out of here. She no.
It wasn't that easy.
No, it was.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway.
So anyway. Yeah. Oh, can I ask the question now?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, do you have any other interests or hobbies outside of the music industry?
Believe it or not, I told you I have kids. I love my life.
But we don't call them hobbies, okay?
No, they're not hobbies. I love my life with my kids, and now they two of them actually. One is in college, one graduated from college, so he's off and married, and they have blessed my daughter-in-law, and my son has blessed me with a grandbaby.
Oh,
she's 1.5.
Bravo!
I just love her to pieces. And so I get to come alongside them and cheer them on for whatever their hobbies is.
Wow.
I love being a basketball mom. I love my boys
playing,
and I'm not ashamed. I am one of the cheerleaders because the Lord blessed me with a great diaphragm. To screaming.
Oh my God. Are you going to be one of those like viral moms that we see on social media, like crazy woman?
I'm not that crazy.
Yelling at the coach or whatever,
I would
getting arrested.
No.
No, you won't find me doing that. But really just, they are getting older and I don't know how much time I have with them only because they grow up. And so whatever their hobbies are, I will be there to support them. I'm getting ready to send off one of big child number 3 off to college.
Oh gosh.
It's our first Texan baby, and he's going to be an Aggie, and that's a 3-hour drive. So wow.
Man, congrats too. Congratulations too.
Thank you.
And having a granddaughter as well.
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
But congratulations too to hear that you come back.
I know, my gosh.
Yeah, it's been really neat. Like, and even having them be a part of having some kind of influence in the Filipino community, because they say that I was one of the first.
Filipino you're one of the first. You are
in the mainstream music. It's I'm part of their history. I'm part of history.
It's beautiful.
And so having to tell them and actually having them hear it from different people, with various community events. We actually just did a conference last summer in Houston, and we had a panel, and I got to talk about my journey with my career, and I had two out of 4 of my children front seat, and hearing other people talk about their point of view with my contribution to the community and the music. So it's been really neat. And then sometimes every now and then they love music. They all play the guitar.
Wow.
Their dad plays, again, my husband's a worship pastor, so he plays the guitar, and they all self-taught themselves, and they love to dance too. And so I've actually there at the end of the conference, they had a gala, and I performed, and I brought my kids out. So they played a slow song with me. They sang and they danced, and so it's just been really a full circle,
circle
season, if you will. And I, with my grandbaby, I don't know. Who knows what I contribute to this.
So do any of your kids have your talent? Have your, do they have your gift or no?
Like the voice?
They can all sing.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they all sing. And it's funny because even at our church, there are two occasions where we as a family, even my daughter-in-law, will sing. We will lead worship. And my son's on the bass. One of my other kids is playing the cajon. My husband's playing acoustic. I'm playing the keys. And then, we're singing 3-part harmony.
Yeah, what we got here? We got the Filipino version of the Partridge Family right here. You do realize that, right? We could make a movie or like a TV series. I'm telling you, that would hit it because they got talent, they have gospel, they have musical interests and stuff. You know what? We'll talk after the show.
But listen, do you have?
I love. We're big fans of Disney too, and
see, there we go. See, I'm bringing connections all over the place, Jocelyn. You noticed that, right?
Yes,
I'm bringing all the connections. But do you have any other projects now, like going forward?
So going forward, we're actually getting ready to, this has been a while in the making of getting ready to release a live album that I've been wanting to do.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited about that. We captured it, especially during it was made especially for COVID because we weren't able to perform.
Okay.
But we have gotten in contact with my old record label, Tommy Boy, who is also now, oh my goodness, why am I forgetting? Reservoir Media. Sorry, it drew a blanket. Thank you. And so we're getting ready to release that. We're actually getting ready to release a few vinyl singles from my old my old catalog. So I'm really excited about that too. We've released singles from the first album, Big Love, with different remixes, and only, which is another freestyle song from the first album that we never released. However, my husband believes that is his ultimate freestyle song that I've ever recorded. So I'm excited about that. But we're just doing various projects, being present, especially in the community, in the Asian community. We have lots to celebrate, and then at the same time, doing different shows here and there, getting the opportunity to connect with people, and all of that you can find on my social media platforms.
Oh, don't worry, we'll be blasting you all over the place for sure.
Exactly.
Don't worry about that. I really enjoyed this. I would keep her for another hour if I could.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I just would. She's just
Have you been to Greece?
Oh my God. I've been to Greece probably over a dozen times. I haven't been I haven't been back for many years now. But I used to go there every summer and I would spend 2-3 months there.
It's beautiful. So my daughter went in the fall. And she was like, I asked her, I said, is that, do you want me to go with you to drop you off? Mind you, my kids have, we're a close-knit family.
Yeah,
so
okay.
They're close. And she's like, Mom, I couldn't imagine you just dropping me off at the airport, and going to an unknown country. And so I was actually able to enjoy Athens, Greece for 2 weeks.
There you
I
go.
went on vacation. Because I was there to make sure that my daughter was settled and she familiarized herself. But it was a dream come true for her. It's one of the places she's always wanted to see.
Well, just remember, you got your Greek connection over here if you ever want to go back. Okay,
there you go. There you go. I'll see you in Athens.
Big shout out to Dream Radio too over in Athens, Greece, man.
Oh,
DJ
yeah.
Enjetic always played every Friday nights.
On there.
There
we go.
So write that in there. There we go. Write that in there. Yeah. So don't worry. We playing you in Greece. Don't worry. You'll be hearing yourself in Greece, love.
Well, if you could read my mind, you would know that I'm thinking about her right now. I just got to keep throwing that in there. You don't know. But it's been such a pleasure. I can't thank you enough, Jocelyn, for giving me the. Well, I have to thank him first for giving me the opportunity to come on to the show.
Don't worry, you're gonna come back more.
Okay, well, you heard him say that
on the Sunday Freestyle Spectacular with DJ Enjetic and now Althea.
Okay, there, yeah. Anyway, I want to give her my special thank you very much. I love you. I love everything about you, everything you've accomplished in your life, everything that you have meant to the Filipino and Asian community, and just keep doing the work that you're doing. You're doing God's work. You know,
doing amazing.
And again,
I'm just saying.
I really appreciate that you would take the time to find me, and be able to share my story, because again, without radio, without the DJs, without people that want to know my story, it won't get out.
It won't go out there, right? Mm-hmm.
And so, it's this is an opportunity for me to say thank you as well.
You're welcome. Oh, well, you're welcome.
No, it was a blessing to have you on here.
Well, you are so welcome. Let me tell you. Thank you to Steve. Thank you to Dorothy. Thank you to everybody for making this happen. And again, Jocelyn Enriquez, everybody, go find her on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. She's everywhere.
Let them know.
Okie dokie. Go ahead. You can close the show.
I'm gonna close this. You want me to close the show?
Well, it is your show.
Oh, okay.
Even though I took over, but it's okay.
So, everybody out there, I just want to thank you so much for being on the show. And definitely tune in. I'm going to be playing your records too. Me and her have a show too called...
No, we actually have a Sunday show, DNA Live.
Yeah, DNA Live too. We're definitely going to want you on there as well.
Oh, definitely.
You definitely love it. Big shout out to everybody. You already know, man. It's your boy, DJ Enjetic. And I just want to thank Jocelyn again for being on the show, man. And to everybody out there, definitely tune into us every Sunday at 4 to 8 o'clock. Let's get it. You already know. The Sunday Spectacular Freestyle.
There you go.
Let's get it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.
Take you back. Tune into the Sunday Freestyle Spectacular every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard.